Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Shining Force CD. I'm TitansCreed for Project Phoenix Productions. And we are heading to Gundol Fort today in another bloody terrain map, of which I dislike with a great passion. It's Guardiana Shining Force. Zoo and Gipel aren't here. I can't remember who Gipel is. Guards! Kill them! Okay, so let's take a quick look-a-loo. Worms, some bonites. I've got a path to the left, which is decent, and I've got a path to the right, which is terrible. Why have I... I've lost somebody for this terrible, terrible night, and I'm not happy about it. It's my own fault, because I forgot to swap him out like an absolute scrub. Let's do this. I should be fine to overpower half of this, I think. Yeah. So yeah, how's everybody been today? I have, it's 2:30 in the morning when I'm recording this. It's, I've just got back from seeing the Star War. It's an okay film. No spoilers, of course, because, like, to date the video is the 15th of December. It's not out everywhere just yet. And, yeah, it's an okay film. You are going to just stay down here, because I don't even know why I brought you. I miss those gargoyles as well. Damn. Yeah, it's a solid okay for me. I'll probably get a lot of hate for that, but yeah, we all like what we like. But yeah, otherwise it's very early in the morning. I have work in 5 hours? Yeah. So you're getting me very tired. You can clearly hear my voice is a little bit strained. I'm verging on the side of being unwell again, which is never good, but that's this time of year for you in a nutshell for me. I was erring on the caution of not recording this today, just mostly because my throat is done, but I haven't missed an episode of Shining Force yet, so I thought I'd at least try and keep up the facade of keeping it going. We'll see. I'd like to try and... oh god. I'd like to try and get this whole series out without missing a day. Like, I think we're on episode 14 or 15 of this. That hurt a little bit. Yeah, we're on episode 14 or 15, and we've got at least another 8 parts to go after this, minimum, I think. I honestly can't remember. Hooray! Level 6. I can't remember what I'm aiming for in this fight. Is it level 5 or level 6? Level 6, isn't it? Because we... yeah, I think we're aiming for level 6. Freeze 2. Boom. Freeze to death worm. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know what would be really nice is if certain companies aren't going to develop their games, I'd like their IPs to be for sale. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, we haven't had a good Shining Force game for the longest time. Like, it's all been Shining Arc or like those action RPGs that we have. Now, while I'm not opposed to that type of gameplay, because action RPGs are pretty solid if they're done properly, they're just they can be very boring and very samey, which is the biggest problem with action RPGs for the most part. But they'll always keep you playing. Final Fantasy 15 did it very well, in the fact that, you know, you could stop, you could go where you wanted to, the fast travel system was very, very good. Like, you just go and park where you want to, and essentially it was like drive, and then you can just like go to sleep and get driven somewhere. That was pretty decent. I like that idea. Rather than just like be teleported to this position. I liked it. It was very good. I need to revisit it at some point. This was a very good game. I enjoyed it. Otherwise, yeah, no, I'd like certain companies to sell certain like IPs that they're not using anymore, and you know, let companies that are willing to take it on like have access to those IPs. Who knows? We might see Pagoda West do more Sonic stuff now. Who knows? Like, it'd be cool to see a Sonic Mania 2. Bearing in mind that we only had Sonic Mania 1 as it was a tie-in for Sonic Forces, but it'd be interesting. Yeah. Oh, I moved you. I didn't mean to. Oh. Interesting play. But yeah, no, it's fun. Like, I'd like to see a decent Bomberman story mode, like akin to Bomberman 64. That'd be pretty sweet. I'd like that. I'd be interested to know what sort of games you guys would like to see, like what IPs brought back from the dead and given to companies. So like, give me the name of an IP and a company you'd like to see take it over. That'd be an interesting thought. Yeah, do that. It would be interesting to see where we go. Get a bit of back and forth going on. Like, the only things I can think of is like games that I used to play that I think haven't got anywhere. So I'd like to see a new shot. Hell, I'd even like to see a proper translating team have access to Shining Force 3 and, you know, get it translated officially. Because while the fan translation is going on, and I absolutely applaud their efforts, like, I'd like an official translation that's set up and like officially released on a platform like Steam, the consoles and everything else. Like, remaster the goddamn thing for all I care. Just give us a Western version of all of it. Jesus Christ, dog. And that'd be brilliant. I'd play that in a heartbeat. Like, I think and then do the rest of the Shining Saga. Like, give us Western translations for Arc and everything else that we haven't had. Like, that would be the dream. How amazing would that be? You know, there's like no lack of translators these days. Like, there are so many people I know that, you know, either I've grown up with or I've met over time who have gained the knowledge of translation just by, not osmosis. Osmosis is probably the wrong word. More wanting to fit in with Japanese culture or want to know the back stuff behind it and everything else. And so they just pick up a lot of, like, they have a love for translation and see how things grow. So many fan translators and everything else. But, yeah, an official thing, that'd be cool to see. What else? I would have said a decent Dragon Ball fighting game, but we got that coming out next year in Dragon Ball Fighters. I'll tell you one thing I would like to see. I would like to see I'd like to see a proper Full Metal Alchemist game. It would probably be an action RPG. Turn-based would probably be pretty sick in terms of what it could do. But like, or not so much turn-based, more the way that Dragon Age operates, where you move your characters around your set and like you can choose to cast alchemy or go into attack if, say, you're Edward, Alphonse, like Mustang, whatever. Like, that would be pretty cool. And everybody's always itching for more Full Metal Alchemist lore, so you can always do a side story. They did it with Sacred Star of Mythos, for example. I think that would be very interesting to do. Who would you want to see do something like that, though? That's the question. Like, you come up with ideas, and then you've got to really think who you would want to do that actual story. I don't really play enough action RPGs to really know what I'd like to do. If you think about it, would it work in the Final Fantasy 15 engine? It's a difficult question. I don't know. There's lots of stuff. A decent Batman game, a Batman fighting game, like closer to the side scrollers of old, rather than what we had in the Arkham series. Now, don't get me wrong, Arkham series, especially Arkham Asylum, very good. Arkham City at a push was decent, but they went too far in the direction of open world. I never really played Arkham Knight, and from what I hear, with all the bugs in that, I'm glad I didn't. But, yeah, no, Arkham Asylum was pretty much penned in, go where you wanted to go, but you were penned into a set location rather than, you know, an entire map with access to, like, loads of different things. Arkham, like, something like Arkham Asylum, where it's claustrophobic, you know, cramped, tight, that'd be pretty good. But, like, I don't know, closer to like a side-scrolling brawler, maybe Platinum could do that. The Turtles game was pretty decent. That'd be interesting. I'd like to see something like that. And then obviously Platinum, oh god, that was a bit silly of me. But then Platinum are working on, you know, everything under the sun at the moment, like Bayonetta. I still want Scaleborn, that'd be nice. I mean, long story short, I want a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the one game that I've been thinking of for the longest time. And at one point, I tried to do it in the StarCraft engine. Is a Warcraft Musou game. So you are essentially just playing like heroes from like big name heroes, just as you would do in like any of the other Warcraft games, like Varian, Jaina, Illidan, all stuff like that. And you can do memorable fights throughout all of the Warcraft games, World of Warcraft, everything else. But it's just a Musou environment. So you go to Icecrown, you storm Icecrown, and you could be Tyrion Forgery, and you storm in the gates, and you've got to plough through armies of undead. That's a pretty sick idea. I like that. I mean, there's so many ideas you can do with that. There's so many memorable fights. Like, you can even go back and do Lothar at the base of Black Rock Mountain. You could do the fight for the Dark Pool. You can, I don't know. Jesus. There's so many really good memorable fights. Haijiao, the Mount Haijiao fight from Warcraft 3. Like, I'm not talking about World of Warcraft style, but I'm talking like you could just go and decimate loads of demons / undead at the base of Haijiao. And then, you know, you go and fight. You end up fighting all the big name demons up it, and then at the very end you're fighting Archimonde. Well, that would be pretty sick. And I think that could be done very, very well. If done properly. None of this Hyrule Warriors style garbage where you've got to do X mission to move on, where you end up going forward to go back. That's just terrible, terrible nonsense, that is. But I'd like a Warcraft Musou game, and I've said it many, many times before. God, there's so much stuff I'd like. So much stuff I'd want to have. Like a decent Spider-Man game, that would be nice. I haven't played one of those in a long time. I think the last Spider-Man game I played was the one on the Mega Drive? I can't remember. No, tell a lie, it was the Ultimate Spider-Man game. I love that thing. Ultimate Spider-Man on the PS2? Yeah, that was a really good game. I enjoyed that. What are you punching? Use the medical herb. Fair enough. Yeah. So many games on my checklist to do though at the moment. What a wrestling game. Like a proper arcadey wrestling game again. Like the ones we have out these days are so... It's as stale as the actual product itself. It's very dull, very boring. There's not a lot to it these days. That's the problem. And I guess the problem that lies with that is that when you think of these things, it's hard for you to think about how to put it in there. And then the minute you go to put something along those lines, along that train of thought, you can't do anything because you get cease and desist just based on the fact that you're using another licensed copyright. And along that train of thought is why I always talk about fan fiction and everything else. So you start writing fan fiction and, you know, based on popular works like Sonic the Hedgehog, for example. But you can always just turn that property into... you can turn that property into, like, your own thing, your own baby. Like, I've had a Sonic fanfiction that's been sat on my hard drive for, like, the best part of 6 years now? No, 8 years. But along the line, I was just like, well, I could quite easily just use the same thing, remove the main characters of who they are, and just implement my own things. Like, you can just quite easily just change stuff around. And I see this with a lot of people who want to make stories using characters they don't own. And it's a brilliant idea. Yeah, it lets people create things because you're working in an existing universe and you're targeting a market that people know and people like, and it allows people to jump onto your idea and your project very easily. But you also leave yourself open for, you know, the minute you turn around and release a game, those people will just turn around and go, well, no, you can't do this. Because you're essentially, that's the problem. Even if it's free or you're charging, like, you've really got no excuse to charge to use somebody else's IP without their permission for a start. But you need to, even releasing free with the underlying idea that you're just using the product, you want to get your product out there, it's very hard. Mostly under the premise that you're doing it completely non-for-profit. Oh, I nearly forget the skeletons here, and you need to be healed. It's hard, but I don't know. What do you do? I mean, I had this conversation with Lewis, I think, on one of our Let's Plays recording. I was just like, I ever had it on the Let's Play recording, or I turned around and said, like this is what you could do, like project analysis. You want to make a Sonic game? Okay, fair enough. You turn around and Sage is coming up. Yeah, you make your own engine, you submit it, and people like it. The next year, you take the same engine, after you've tweaked it from what everybody's played it and used it in, but you submit the engine with the same project name, but you use different characters, your own characters, and you go, this is what my project used to be. You know, formerly this Sonic project. It's using the same engines with the tweaks, and we think it works well, but we're going in this direction. So you immediately go back into year 2 of your Sage project with a known project, if you've launched well off the title, which certain sites will probably remember you, as long as you keep up your stuff throughout the year and just don't go and don't forget, you know, about all the exposure you've got, and just keep moving with your momentum. Like once a week, maybe too much, but like once a month, and go like, well, this is what I've done. This is the direction I've gone in. Like, this is the direction we want to take it. And then, you know, you slowly edge it towards the build that you want to do. Now, it might sound like a lot of hard work, because it's going to be a lot of hard work, because you need to put your own ideas, you need to get your own models, your own textures, your own everything to make it your thing. But it's a good way to get into something. Like, how many Let's Players and YouTube personalities and just started off idolizing something, wanted to be part of something, and want to move on and, you know, do your own thing because you don't want to be tarred with the same brush sometimes. It's being tarred with a what's the right word to use? Being tarred with by something that you like can be detrimental if you're good at something, because you get stuck behind the image that that's what you're known for. And it's what happens to a lot of actors, where you get typecast into a role. And it's the same problem. I mean, the only way you can get away from that is to do a role or do a project that is vastly different from what you are, but you need to make sure that you do it well. It's all the same sort of thing. Like, it's just making sure that you don't get seen as that person who is that kind of thing. Like, I hit a stigmatism where I'm just a Sonic fan or just a Warcraft fan and everything else, and you'd be surprised when people find out about you, that the way they look at you is just like, well, you're always going to be pigeonholed into that fact. Like, you're always going to be like that guy, that Sonic fan or that Warcraft fan. And it's what a lot of people used to do and still do when it comes to console or PC gaming, unfortunately. It's just like, you just pigeonholed into that thing. People come in at work and ask my opinion on consoles, and I say, well, what are you looking at it for? Are you looking for power? Are you looking for games? And they turn around and go, what's your opinion? And I'll say, well, my opinion is X because it does this. And they said, so you're a Y player? And I say, no, I'm a Z player. They say, oh, really? And then immediately that person gets that image that because I do more stuff on PC than I do on console, that I don't like consoles. When the sheer fact is that while, like, the Xbox One X is the most powerful console on the market, that's a fact. But if I was to get a choice of console, I'd go for a PlayStation. People ask me why, I say it's because I own a PC. Any exclusives that are going to come to the Xbox, because I own a PC, I'll get if I want to play those games. So I may as well get a PlayStation and get any console exclusives. Because there are certain games that are going to come out which aren't going to be on PC, and they're just going to be console. Or they'll be console locked. And that's just simply the way it is. But because I'm a PC guy, these people are instantly having their brain that because I'm a PC player that I'm not gonna, care about console people. And unfortunately, the way the market is right now is that there are people that prefer consoles because they don't want to get into the hassle of building a PC. Or using a PC, they don't want to get anything wrong. And like, a console, for what it is just very easy to just simply pick up, plug in, and you're done. With the obvious exception of the install rates and everything else. And, I mean, you're just dealing with what PC has dealt with for years. Now, eventually we're going to move into a purely digital market down the line. That's inevitable. It's where people have wanted to go for the longest time. By people I mean developers, but yeah, there you go. I've rambled for 20 minutes. And I think we're done here. Zoo was right. You are no ordinary artist. You're right. They have one grand master overlooking everything. The Shining Force legend is true. Ba-bang. Nice and easily done. Well overpowered for this right now. And some dude with an axe. Hey, hey! Gates, why are you in such a hurry? They're killing one Guardiada captive for every one of Bazoo's soldiers you defeat. You must free them. Nick, let's go. Gates, the gladiator, has joined the Shining Force. Now, I'm going to take a minute and sort my bloody team out for the next fight. Before I completely forget about that, because that was dumb as balls. Oh, boy. Member, change. Who will join the group? Ah, that's who I lost. Get the fuck out of here. You know what? I don't care about any of you. I think that's fine. Then we want to give... Who got the Buster Shot? You got the Buster Shot. Who give the Master Shot to? Shade. Giving it to Shade seems like the better option here. No, but we will equip Shade. No, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's pretty decent. I'm happy with that. Brilliant stuff. So, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I've been TitansCreed from Project Phoenix Productions. This has been another episode of Shining Full CD, and until the next video, we will see you next time. Peace out.